Master the art of critical writing in psychology with expert techniques and strategies. Critical writing is the foundation of excellent psychological research, combining evidence, analysis, and clear argumentation. Let's start by understanding what critical writing actually means in psychology research. Critical writing goes beyond merely describing information to analyzing, evaluating, and synthesizing research findings. Critical writing builds from description to analysis to evaluation, creating layers of sophisticated thinking. Expert critical writing requires questioning underlying assumptions and carefully weighing the strength of evidence presented. Research psychologists use the QALMRI framework to analyze and write about studies critically. QALMRI is an acronym representing question, alternatives, logic, method, results, and inferences. The 6 components of QALMRI work together in a systematic framework for analyzing research studies. First, identify the specific research question the study is trying to answer. Second, consider alternative explanations or competing hypotheses for the phenomenon. Third, examine the logical connection between the method and the hypothesis being tested. Critical analysis of methodology is essential for expert psychological writing. Critically evaluate 3 key methodological elements: the sample characteristics, research design, and measurement tools used. Always question whether the sample is truly representative of the population and large enough for statistical power. Examine whether the research design permits causal conclusions or only correlational findings. Scrutinize whether the measurement tools actually measure what they claim to and do so consistently. Expert psychologists use specific language patterns to express critical analysis. Use phrases that signal analysis rather than simple description, such as suggests, indicates, limitations, and alternatives. Avoid absolute language like proves or shows definitively, as research findings are always probabilistic and subject to interpretation. Use appropriate hedging language such as may, might, suggests, or appears to reflect the tentative nature of scientific conclusions. Critical writing requires synthesizing information from multiple research studies. Synthesis means combining multiple studies to create new insights, not just listing findings one after another. Compare and contrast findings across different studies, identifying patterns of agreement and disagreement. Look for patterns in the research, note inconsistencies between studies, and identify gaps where more research is needed. Critically analyze why different studies might produce conflicting results, considering methodological differences or contextual factors. Expert critical writing always acknowledges limitations in research. Consider 3 types of limitations: methodological weaknesses, conceptual issues, and practical constraints. Methodological limitations include small sample sizes, problematic measurement tools, or flawed research designs. Conceptual limitations involve unclear operational definitions or gaps in the theoretical framework. Practical limitations arise from ethical constraints or limited resources that restrict what researchers can do. Critical writing constructs clear, evidence-based arguments. Strong arguments flow from claim to evidence to reasoning to conclusion in a logical chain. Begin with a clear, specific claim or position that you will support with evidence. Support your claim with evidence from multiple high-quality research sources. Always explain explicitly how the evidence you present actually supports your claim. Never assume it is obvious. Use these practical strategies to improve your critical writing immediately. Follow a 3-stage process. Plan your argument structure. Draft without worrying about perfection, then revise critically. Always create an outline before writing to organize your main arguments and supporting evidence logically. Each paragraph should begin with a clear topic sentence that states your analytical point, not just a fact. Conclude each paragraph by explicitly linking your analysis back to your overall thesis or argument. Let's summarize the key principles of critical writing in psychology. Critical writing requires questioning assumptions, evaluating evidence systematically, synthesizing multiple perspectives, and building logical arguments. Remember that critical writing is fundamentally analytical rather than merely descriptive. Always consider alternative explanations and acknowledge the limitations of research findings. Like any skill, critical writing improves with consistent, deliberate practice over time.